Welcome to Read the Book First, the book to movie adaptation podcast. Today we are diving into the 2013 adaptation of Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. And returning to help break it down is Amanda.
Hey guys, I hope you're good.
We just had a grand old time recording us taking quizzes on each other's behalf and also independently about which godly parent we would have if we were a half-blood. So go check out our Patreon, linked below, to check those out. Our answers are funny. Last year, we read and watched Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. Amanda probably remembers my story of this movie, but as I was rewatching this, I had the most vivid memory of me coming home. My Christmas 2013 was Christmas my sophomore year of college, coming home, and me and one of my best friends, Courtney, go to Walmart because we're not 21 and we didn't get invited to whatever party that weekend. And so we go to Walmart because we don't want to be at home with our parents. And we're at Walmart and we see that they finally have the Sea of Monsters on DVD, and we had not yet seen it, and we both loved the first one. And so we go and we watch it at her house and have a sleepover. And I just remember eating too much junk food, having such a good time rewatching or watching this for the first time, even though objectively it's not a good movie. But do I love it because of nostalgic reasons and because I am a copyright Logan Lerman lover? Yes. So before we dive into it, this has a really important place in my heart, but it's not a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it in theaters when it came out,
Hmm.
which is funny because I hated the first one so much, even as a kid. I have very complicated feelings about this movie.
Yeah. I rewatching it, I'm gonna say, and I was gonna save this for later. The first half of this movie, I had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the turning point is everything up until they are in the stomach of the whirlpool monster creature. I think everything until
Mm-hmm.
there is a great time. I have no qualms with anything of it. I mean, yes, it's cheesy, and I like there's some little tiny things, but I'm like I can forgive it for being a movie, and we'll talk about those as we get to those things. But for
Yes.
me, everything until they're in the whirlpool monster, I'm like, this is great. Why am I complaining? And then it went downhill, and I was like, oh, this is why everyone complains.
See, and I think for me, I have shockingly, I have a lot of small nitpicky complaints.
Yes.
I have one big problem before they get to the whirlpool, but other than
Hmm.
that, it's just kind of small nitpicky things. I think this movie, especially in that first half, does a significantly better job of capturing the tone of the books.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I think it's really interesting also if we just look at it. The first movie came out in 2010. This came out in 2013, though they filmed it in 2012. So it's only 2 years between. But those 2 years, all the kid actors that were in their late teens are now in their early 20s, and they have
Hmm.
grown significantly, which is an issue, but they didn't recast the kids, which I'm okay with because of course I love Logan Lerman. But also I think it would have flopped if it was a totally different cast of the kids. You need to see the same faces. I do think it's interesting. So Logan Lerman, 2010 was Sea of Monsters. The next movie he did was Perks of Being a Wallflower. Go check out our episode reviewing that. And then he goes from Perks of Being a Wallflower to recording to doing this movie. And you can see his acting chops have changed so much from the first to this one. But
Hmm.
also you can see that he is starting to mature into kind of an angsty dude. And it plays in parts of this, and it's good in parts, but it's less good in other parts. It's very interesting, but once I put it in the context of oh, he just got offset of a deeply hard emotional movie, it makes sense of why he's acting this way, you know?
Yeah. And I think and I say this with so much love and affection for everyone involved except for one person. The only person who's a good actor in this movie, well, the only people, the main characters, I should say.
Yeah.
Logan Lerman is very easily the best actor.
Yes. Yes. Of
I
the
don't
kids.
think of the kids. Of the adults, I think the only people I think I don't think anyone's acting is that great except for Stanley Tucci and Nathan
Stanley
Fillion.
Tucci. When Stanley Tucci came on screen, I was like, they recast it. I forgot they recast it. Stanley Tucci is a fantastic Mr.
They
D.
didn't have Dionysus in the first movie, remember?
Oh yeah. Are you sure?
Not that, yes. We talked
Because I
about this last
looked,
time.
I looked. He's
They
credited
don't
in the Wikipedia.
they don't have Dionysus in the first movie. He shows up in like the scene in like the god scenes where they're all where they go up to like Olympus.
Mm-hmm.
They also have a completely different guy as
Chiron?
yeah, no. Well, yes.
Yes.
I was gonna say for Hermes.
Yes, they do. Yeah, I think it was smart that they recasted the adults because, I mean, the fact that they had Pierce Brosnan in the first movie is a wild. That's like a big get. And then they switch it to what's his face from
Anthony
Buffy.
Head.
Thank you. Which he makes a great Chiron. Like, I mean, I think because he is essentially that same character in Buffy, it's like, oh, this is a good little like for all the
See,
people, all the parents or people who are obsessed with Buffy watching this, they're like, oh, look at him. Look at he doing the
see,
same
and
thing.
my thing with Anthony Head is my first exposure to him was really like uh Uther in Merlin.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's that too. I thought the beginning of this movie was so smart. They start with like obviously water intro to set the vibes of a sea of monsters, Poseidon, whatever. But we have a voiceover from Percy, and he's setting up everything that's happened in
They're
kind of
basically
before like the whole Talia and Grover and all of that, but also like like they do in a lot of kid movies and sequels, being like, I'm a demigod, this is what it means. Here's the knowledge. But they get right to it,
mhm.
which I'm so glad.
Yeah, because I feel like I mean like a lot of this movie clunky writing wise is the exposition that they're trying to deliver. And some
Hmm.
of this is their own dang fault because
Hmm.
in the first movie, they totally skim over all of the important things that they should have talked about.
Hmm.
So this very openings, the second scene where they like talk about what happened to Talia,
The flashback, yeah.
the flashback and all that great stuff. It's it's like, yes, this is great. It should have happened in last movie.
Yes, but it still works, I think, in this movie.
Yeah, I think it still
And
works.
I think they did a really cool job when Talia is being turned into the tree and they show her fingers turning it into roots. I thought that was so cool in body horror. I was like, ooh, this is good. I like it. And like, it's fast enough that it doesn't, it didn't seem too fumbly to me. I think if you are looking at the movies together, I agree they should have done it in the
Yeah.
first movie. But if we're just looking at this movie itself as a adaptation of just the Sea of Monsters, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think it still works. And I think it's
Yeah.
like, it just kind of, I honestly feel bad for this movie because I feel like they're having to course correct from so many
Yes.
other things
Hmm.
that happen. And it's not, and I don't think it like drags the movie down. I mean, it does drag the movie down, actually. Sorry.
It drags the movie down in the second half. I think they
Yeah.
do a good job handling the setup and adjusting the setup in the first half. Because the next big change is that we don't have the chariot stuff. Instead, we have this like chaotic camp race up this tower to Fallout Boy. How 2013 of them. I
It
was like
was
low. I was
so
like kind of
fun.
triggered. I was like, why is a song playing? I haven't heard the song in so long.
See, this
But
song is
also,
on
it
one of
matches the
my
vibes.
yeah, well, it matches the vibe. This song is on a character playlist of mine, so I was like,
Oh, I'm
oh yeah,
sure.
I know this song.
Yes.
I they finally introduced Clarice, and I love her.
I their version of Clarice in this movie is really good. It helps the balance of the characters. It's the actress who plays Glimmer in the Hunger Games. So,
That's why she
mm-hmm,
looks
because she's wearing
familiar.
a really bad wig. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. I think they change her a bit in the movie to again, they have to course correct. And what they did, again, within the context of the two movies, it makes sense. Within the context of just this movie, it's like, okay, we could have had more. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
so what lens are you looking at? There's good and there's bad. But in
My
general, I had fun with Clarice.
I really like Clarice and overall. I my problem is I don't love the mean girl vibe that the character has, just in
Hmm.
context of adaptation, because is just Clarice is tough, period. So like the underhanded kind of comments is not really her style. That's my thing. But it's such a nitpick.
But she does that in the book though.
Eh,
I think it's less than in the movie, but like I don't know. I think it was fine. I think if they didn't have the time to make her a bully in the first movie, so they
they
had
didn't
to
have
like
her in the first movie. They had
no, I know.
Annabeth take her place, which was sorry.
I
Anyway,
know. I know. I'm glad they got rid of the chariot scene and that whole bit with what's his face. I think
Tantalus, yeah, they did
it's
not
such
have
a
time for that.
they did not have time for that. It's too much of a time suck and it's just the amount of fun, chaotic camp that's still like like camp summer camp, not campy. Um a good amount of summer camp, the good amount of like, oh, they're training to actually be fighting because this is a dangerous thing they're doing. I think it just makes a lot more sense.
And I also really do like and they set up really well that Clarice and Percy are rivals because Clarice has been winning a lot of like challenges and this and this.
Yes.
And but part of the reason why Percy is losing these challenges is because he goes back and he helps
And
somebody
he
who was
helps
hurt.
people.
And it's like
Hmm.
that's such a good callback to his fatal
Yes.
flaw.
Yeah.
And they don't really do much else with it, but hey, I do appreciate the acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Also Stanley Tucci's introduction of doing the like pouring the wine and having it turn into water. And he's like, the Christians have a guy that can do this in reverse. Now that's a god. That's so funny.
Stanley Tucci needs to be in more movies. He's in every movie. I love him. I love Stanley
He's
Tucci.
so
He's so
good.
good. Every
He
movie, I'm like,
like
oh, it's a pleasure. It's my buddy.
this like first real scene of the movie. I remember seeing this in theaters and being like, oh, they actually understand.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Then we
Percy
have,
has a little angsty
yeah,
moment about how he's not good enough, and he's like, what if he was
and
just a
his
one quest
self-doubt.
wonder?
And this part here was just like, I think I wish they had played it up a little bit cheesier because Percy is not this internal. He's way more external of a character. But because Logan Lerman just came off Perks of Being a Wallflower, where he was one of the most internal characters ever, you know, he
Mm-hmm.
is still that's when I was looking at this. I was like, bud, you can be weirder. I know you can. But then in my head, I was like, he just got off the Perks set. He is dealing with things, you
Yeah, I
know?
mean, I think the thing is, for me, I 100% agree. It just doesn't feel like Percy, because Percy doesn't care
Yeah.
about glory. He has two thoughts:
Two thoughts.
friends
Hmm.
and Annabeth,
Yep. Yep.
and
Um,
occasionally not dying.
yes, only sometimes if it protects
Only
his friends.
sometimes. Yes, exactly.
Yes. Um, then they have the next big change, and I think we're gonna have different opinions about this. They have Mr. D and Chiron talking. We see this kind of like foggy, weird fish eye view of them talking about like, how did he get here? He just walked in. He must be uh, a son of a god, not just like a random monster. Which, like, yes, that's not how the books are, and like, it's not book canon, whatever. I'm okay with the fact that they just had Tyson show up.
I'm mostly okay with it. The only problem I have with it is I feel like it cheapens the relationship between him and Percy, especially
Yes,
later on as things like as they kind of progress into the quest. Like, and also I think it's a little boring, but it's fine.
but like if they had done it the book way, we would have a way longer exposition. We wouldn't have liked it. So it makes sense for the choice they made with the exposition. So in general, I'm okay with it, but I agree. It does definitely Percy
Especially
and Tyson's
because
relationship is weakened a lot.
yeah. And I the other part of it is frankly, they established this at the end of the first movie. And I know I keep talking about the first movie, but it's because it's a sequel. Like, sorry. I don't care
Hmm.
if it's supposed to stand on its own. It's a sequel. But anyway, point is, first movie, it ends with Percy deciding to stay at camp. So it doesn't make
Hmm.
sense for him to like keep going back to school because they cut out that part of it entirely, which,
Hmm.
whatever.
I liked Tyson in general in this movie. I think they did a good job of him being more of like a kid who was lived in the woods and therefore knows nothing besides survival and being ostracized and less of a literal child. Like in the
Yeah.
books, he's much more of a literal baby, but here he's just like kind of just like more of an airhead. They play him more like a stoner-esque character, and I think it works really well.
Yeah. I think that's fun.
And the
And
CGI
then
with his eye, I did not mind at all.
Yeah,
Like
I didn't mind
I
it.
thought was pretty good compared to the other CGI they had in the movie. Like it's pretty good. The
I
combo of they
think
did
I also
prosthetics and the eye itself.
I really like the metaphor that they went with too of like him having the sunglasses. I think that was
Yeah.
sort of a clever way to like have a little bit of the internal journey Percy goes through with Tyson.
Yeah.
They go to dinner and then a bull attacks the camp and they all just stand there and watch as it tries to break through the barrier.
Yeah, but then they have a big battle.
Yeah, they have a big battle.
Okay, but you have to admit the part where he throws Riptide into the bowl and it slowly we see the sword, like I thought that was really fun and cool.
It is really fun and cool. I get so frustrated with these filmmakers because one of the notes that I wrote here is I'm begging them to let Annabeth do anything. Like, please. Like literally she does like a whole she like is tells Percy, "Hey, distract him." And then her plan immediately fails. And it's like, "Okay,
Hmm.
cool. Cool."
Hmm.
I swear to God, this lady spends half the movie just screaming Percy's name.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that's because they put way more energy into Clarice. It even makes Annabeth, which we already were not happy with in the first movie, it makes it even worse. Because Clarice has all the one-liners. She's rivaling with Percy, and then we just have Annabeth there who just like occasionally is there and hugs Percy.
Well, and occasionally she comes up with like an idea or a plan of some kind, but
Hmm.
then it almost never really works. And then they
Yeah.
also, and then Clarice goes down after like one hit from the bull. And then I was like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
whatever, whatever.
Um,
Also, I do want to point out, I do like the foreshadowing of having Chris Rodriguez sit back at like the table. I
yes.
thought that was so smart.
Yes.
They ruin it 2 seconds, like in 3 scenes, but hey, it was very smart of them at first.
Yes. When Luke shows up, I thought it's a good way of quickening the plot, but it gets the mystery isn't like why is Talia's tree being poisoned? Like there's less of a mystery, and I wish he didn't
Hmm.
show up because that, but it does lead them to letting Percy find out about the prophecy. Though I wish it was more like the books where Annabeth said something, you know. I
Yeah.
like it's like a mix of things, but also Luke has this really cool um like transporter thing and they never talk about it and they use it like 3 or 4 times in the movie and I'm like talk
Yeah.
about this cool thing and
Yeah.
they don't talk about
Where
it.
did they get it? Why do they have it? What does it do? Why don't our
Yeah.
heroes have it?
Yeah. Also, I love that Annabeth has an iPad randomly.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with the guy who plays Luke
Yeah.
because I feel like he's so much closer to like Luke proper, but he's still like the zero personality guy that they had at the end where he was talking about power control and it's like what happened to the guy in the video game scene? Can we have him
Hmm.
back? Like the guy
Hmm.
who's a little bit charming and a little bit like
Hmm.
manipulative and you can see that darkness underneath. Did
Yeah,
you
he's this
just
full
like
villain here.
did you really just get super lucky on that one scene?
Yeah. No, I agree.
And then, oh my God, they find out that the tree is poisoned. And then Annabeth has almost a really good moment where she like picks up the leaf and like the like branch, and then she talks and ruins it. And I'm like, okay. It's like,
Um, yeah. Yeah. When Percy goes and finds out the prophecy, I think the scene is excellent because it's spooky when we have all the candles are flickering on and we have the like Halloween decoration-esque prophecy. But then they have this stained glass animation of the history of the Titan War. That is so cool. That is
it
like
is.
one of the best parts of this movie. They took a swing and it's great.
They took a swing and it's great. The only problem is they said they ruined the myth because they were like, all three of his sons escaped. And I'm like, Zeus escaped, and that's why he's the king. Like, it's not just because he drew lots and got the sky, it's because he's the one that freed them. And that's why, like, that's silly.
Yes, but also they had to make sure that Poseidon survives and is part of the heroes because otherwise this the prophecy itself that they change is dumb. Though visually, the choices they made, amazing. Right? The prophecy about the sword. right, is included there. I know. And also they
They
changed it to
included the
being
whole
20,
prophecy.
which I was like, okay, it's not when he was 20, but I know you're doing that because these actors are older, sure. And they want to make, and like when they're filming this, they were planning on making a third one. Like it was in the process of like being written and stuff. They changed out the prophecy, but it's enough to get Percy to actually go do something.
Yeah. I also love that Chiron, they like get revealed the whole prophecy of like you're either gonna raise or raise, like the
Hmm.
bad one or the good one. And then Percy t says to Chiron, I don't know, what if I'm not good enough? And Chiron's like, I don't know, man. And I'm like, Chiron.
But then I also like that Percy's like, well, either I'm going to be the savior or the destroyer, but if I try to be the savior, I might succeed and actually save everyone, but I might fail. Like, I like that he thinks through that thought. It's not just like, oh, either I'm good or evil. It's like, no, either I succeed or fail, you know? And I think I like that in this version of Percy. I don't think it's accurate to book Percy because that's too much thinking,
Hmm.
but
I don't like it just because I feel like it makes the ultimate the theme of the series where like the gods have brought about their own destruction by neglecting their kids because they don't
hmm
pay child support.
hmm
I feel like making it so I could fail versus like I could succeed
hmm
doesn't work for me because I'm like, well, the whole point is like the gods are flawed and are you going to choose their side or not?
hmm
Anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
yes,
so
in the book
Anna,
series, but that's not what the movie's trying to do.
I know, whatever. So then Annabeth goes to Dionysus and is like, I found the golden fleece. We could get that and then we could go on a quest. And he's like, no. And then 2 minutes later, he's like, yes, I had a grand idea. And I was like, why? But I understand him taking credit for the idea. I understand that that's the joke.
It's funny.
It's stupid. Why would he do this? It seems
And
so
it's funny.
pointless. Okay, fine, whatever.
It's funny. I wrote right here, I love Stanley Tucci. It's funny
I did
at that
love the writing
moment.
on the hand. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I think him picking Clarice was also a good choice
Yes.
because I think it's a fun way to sort of like deal into like the Clarice is the champion of the camp and what does that mean?
Yeah. And then Grover, Annabeth, and Percy sneak off, and Tyson joins them. So we have skipping Grover's whole quest for Pan, which I think is fine in this movie. I think because they mess up Grover so much in the first movie and this movie, whatever they choose, I'm like, I guess, guys, sure. And like he has fun little one-liners, but like his friendship with Percy's not there. He's just there because he has a sense of smell, and then he ends up getting kidnapped anyways. So like Grover to me is a wash in this movie, but like
Hmm.
also I've already been disappointed from the last movie, so I'm like, okay, guys, sure. Why not?
Yeah, I don't like I Grover, and this is not the actor's fault, but God,
No.
every decision they make with him, I'm just like, did y'all think about this? Like he's a coward. He's constantly trying to like get away from danger. He's
Mm-hmm.
constantly like trying to shirk responsibility. He's constantly flirting. He's constantly just saying all these like things to sort of be like, you haven't lived until you've drank nectar. And it's like, give him
Yeah.
like a character, please. And
Mm-hmm.
and the thing about it is, I really feel like it would have worked better. Because here's my big problem with this movie. Why does Percy want to go on this quest?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
has no reason. Like, the only reason that he has is this maybe having an idea about the prophecy. But
Is the
this
prophecy or
feels,
saving camp?
but also, if Clarice is going to save camp, he has no reason to think that she's going to fail other
I think
than
it's just,
personal jealousy. It's just
yeah.
silly.
I think it's just the prophecy. I think because what the movie gives us his only reason is that he specifically has to be there because of whatever prophecy. And I'm like, that's okay, sure. Like,
I think it would be better. It would have been better if one of two things happened. One, Clarice takes one of his friends with him, like
mm-hmm.
takes Tyson because she saw that he was fireproof.
Mm-hmm.
takes Grover because he could do the smelling, or takes
Mm-hmm.
Annabeth because it was her idea in the first place. Because that's the other
Mm-hmm.
thing that makes me mad, and this is a stupid thing. I'm very well aware of it. But they break the rule of three that they establish in the series. You take
Mm-hmm.
three people, there should be three people going on a quest because three is like a magic number.
Yeah.
Three. Anyway. Um, or when they have that scene where Luke appears at camp, have them kidnap Grover.
Yes. And then it gets rid of Grover earlier kidnapped and more of a reason for Percy to go. And it takes care of the Grover just kind of being there as comic relief sometimes
Because he does
until he's kidnapped
nothing.
two more scenes later.
Yeah, exactly. He does nothing in this
Hmm.
movie. And at least kidnapping him earlier would have given him a chance to, like,
Yeah. Um, the taxi scene I think is excellent. I had so much fun with the taxis. I think the three sisters are so funny. They do the Harry Potter split thing, which I think is fun, but also derivative. But like also I still had a good time, you know?
mhm.
Um,
Yeah, they were very clearly ripping
yeah,
off the night bus, and it's
yeah.
very kind of funny, but it's also
Yeah.
like you're trying so hard to be Harry Potter, bro.
They and then like when I got to this part, I was like, oh, they're trying this whole time to be Harry Potter. They really are. And like everyone else was. Like they weren't alone. Like they're like either movies for young adults were supposed to be trying to be Harry Potter or Twilight at this time. And they were in the trying to be Harry Potter. And like
Yeah.
they didn't get it. And I think that is ultimately the downfall of the series is them trying to chase something that it's not.
Hmm.
But the taxi scene is fun and they get to DC, which is wild. Why? Just they needed another city. Grover gets kidnapped by Luke and his cronies. But then they go and meet Hermes.
Oh, real fast, I do want to say a compliment to this movie. I really like the sort of half mystical urban fantasy that they lean into with the Disney stuff. And it's like the small stuff like at the coffee shop, but I think that's a
Yes.
fun touch. And I wish,
Yes.
I think, again, fatal flaw of the movie, it doesn't lean hard enough into the urban fantasy of it all.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I think the coffee scene's really fun. The mist spray, I think, is a good idea, not only to add to the theme of Tyson being an outcast and being like part of a group, but also just so the guy could have a break from wearing prosthetics,
Yeah.
you know?
I did my note that I wrote about this is silly because it's Annabeth is like, oh my gosh, I'm only supposed to use this in case of emergency, but this isn't an emergency. And it's like, ma'am, you're stumbling through the woods. There are no mortals around. Why is this an
Right?
emergency?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Nathan
Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion as Hermes is so fun. He's so fun. And like I love him and he's like, I'm working these shorts and he's just playing himself, truly.
Hmm.
Like and I love that walking into the the mythical like sorting and he's now in a suit and tie. And we have the snakes talking, and that was a hoot. And
That was
like
so fun.
that whole scene is so fun. And I don't even mind that they changed part of the gifts. Like we still have the wind, but then the tape, it's fine. I don't care that much, it
Yeah.
works.
I was a little like I was a little caught off guard by no vitamins, but then we don't have Cersei, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so it makes sense. Yeah.
Um I also will say too, I will say a very rare compliment for Alexandra Daddario. Her eyes are very pretty. Hermes made a comment about like Luke holding a grudge like his mother. I don't know, again, I don't know if they're approaching it with the context that we have, but that's really harsh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they do this
Um,
stupid thing that where like Annabeth gets this thing of the winds and she immediately starts to open it and it's like, can you just make Tyson do it? At least that would
mhm.
make sense. Like,
Yeah.
why do you have to make her look stupid?
Yeah. It's because whoever wrote this obviously did not read the book. They just read the Wikipedia article.
Yeah, you're right.
Hmm. Um, okay. Like there's a lot of CGI in this movie because of course mythical things. The hippocampy CGI is beautiful. I'm
Yes, it is.
obsessed with we don't get to call him Rainbow, but I love Rainbow.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
just wrote rainbow question mark.
I know.
Also,
Rainbow.
the scene with Hermes is like one of the best in the movie. Just wanted to put that
Yes,
out there.
absolutely. Yeah. I know. This is the point when I'm like, I'm having a great time. They made dumb choices. I'm having a great time at this point. I'm like, this is fun. I love that they turn the cruise ship to a yacht. Makes sense
Yeah.
for filming. Makes sense that a teenager would actually get a hold of and
Yeah.
control of. It just makes more
It
sense.
doesn't require as much explanation, doesn't require as many
Yes.
extras. It's
Yes.
fast, speedy, all these
Mm-hmm.
great things. Then they name drop Selena Beauregard, and I'm like, how? That was a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan McNamara, I get. Chris Rodriguez, I get. They're people who turned early, but Selena's supposed to be a spy at camp. So how are they going to do that later?
Well, they aren't following the book, remember?
I know, but like,
Anyways, they sneak onto the yacht. They get caught immediately because Tyson is loud and clumsy. I love that boy. Um, and they get put into the brig and they use the tape to evaporate the brig. Very fun. Good time. Um, the battle on also Luke shows them the remains of Kronos,
and he explains his whole plan to them,
right?
and he explains where Grover is, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I crawled through Tartarus to get this." And I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, sure. And also Percy says the dumbest thing because Hermes was like, "Can you tell him not to be angry at the world?" And then Percy like says to Luke, um, your dad says to not be angry, and I just want to point out that if anyone ever told me to not be angry, I would absolutely get angrier. And it's so silly. They have the son of the sea god, and Luke makes no pitch to him to do anything. And I know it's because they're not following the books, yada yada. I'm still gonna complain about it because there's a reason that they do things. So yeah, they don't even make a pitch to Percy until like he's already locked him up in the break. They don't do anything interesting with it. They lock up the son of the sea god in an ocean on a tiny yacht.
After making comments, oh, it's hard to drown someone who's the son of the sea.
Well, and then like Luke's whole thing, the way that they hand wave him escaping is they were like, oh, I can swim. And it's like, okay, so can Percy. Like, come
Yeah.
on, be so for real. And then it was so frustrating because these guys like snuck out of this whole thing. They walk right past the sleeping manticore and don't even try to like even like momentarily hesitate about killing it. It's not like it's a human. It's a monster. It's gonna kill you. Kill it. This boat escape thing is so goofy, but it almost is worth it for the line that Luke says of "Don't walk on my roof."
Yeah.
That was the
Such a fun line.
funniest thing.
Yeah. That part was great. I also love that Percy surfs away. I hate that Luke is able to follow him. How?
Right? And this
How?
is where he tries to make this pitch, and it's like, okay, well, why don't you make the pitch of join me and I'll tell you where Grover is and you can make sure that
Hmm.
he's safe. Like,
Hmm.
again, using Percy's fatal flaw against him instead of like being whatever this is. I hate
Yeah.
that Luke surfs. Like,
Yeah.
why?
Hmm. Yeah. They get on the rowboat and they're going through it, and Tyson and Percy have this like moment where Tyson talks about being misunderstood, and then Annabeth tells Percy that a Cyclops killed Talia and that's why she hates Tyson. And it's just like a very quick, like it goes from like a heartfelt moment to lordom. And it's like Tyson and Percy had this connection, Annabelle or Annabeth and Percy, no connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's very little connection, and then they like have literally Annabeth tells him this story while Tyson's literally 3 feet away and like directing the ship.
Yep.
And it's also so silly because Annabeth is like, I'm the daughter of the goddess of wisdom. And I'm like, well, you sure could have fooled me, ma'am. Anyway.
They
And
get
then
sucked into
like
the
and
whirlpool
no,
parts
and the
next.
worst part is they have Tyson drop the thermos so that
Yep.
Annabeth gets to be like, "Oh, Percy, I can't believe you trusted a Cyclops." And it's like, "Damn, stop being mean to Tyson. He is doing his best."
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's like whoever wrote the script found out one thing about Annabeth in this book and that she hates Cyclops, and that's what they put in there. They didn't put anything else.
But it's also this is another problem with the writing though, is it's not that she I'm not going to say that she doesn't have it throughout the whole thing, but there are moments where she just drops it completely. Like she's so excited to be on the hippocampy, like she has no problem being right next to Tyson. And there's just so many ways that you could have put in these things very subtly. And
Hmm.
also, it would have been really interesting if you had to have Grover on the first two scenes of this quest. Maybe he's also having a problem with it, but no, that would give
Hmm.
him depth. God forbid.
They get sucked into the whirlpool and they're in the stomach of this beast. Yes.
I also want to say big shout out, Carabas. The shark, the scene with the sharks
Yeah,
turning out to be teeth, that was really cool.
that was really fun.
Um,
Again, the whole whirlpool scene is fun. This is where the fun ends, though. Yeah, but they end up finding Clarice and her worship. I do like that they really brush over quickly and move on to the about the zombies, and then they're like, "Is your crew zombies?" And they're like, "They prefer actually indebted Confederate soldiers that owe their whatever
oh, their
Saul
lives in
did."
tribute to Ares.
Yeah, but yeah,
Because that's
zombies
very
works.
ambiguous. It could be any number of things that they
Hmm.
reasoned why they owe their. It's not because they lost.
Yeah,
Um,
and I thought that was like a good way to cover it, and then put more humor on the zombie aspects of what they are. I thought that was a smart way to handle that
God,
for this movie that does not care.
this movie is so 2013 though. All the jokes
Oh
about,
yeah.
I believe the politically correct term is ocularly impaired instead of
Hmm.
Cyclops, and it's like, okay, God, man, what passed for humor back then, y'all? I also want to say it's very, very funny because they're in the stomach of this big monster, right? They
Hmm.
hear like shouting, and somebody's like, "Oh my gosh, is that Clarice?" And then Percy's like, "Nah, it couldn't be. She should be way ahead of us." And then she says, "You stupid morons!" And he's like, "Yeah, that's her. That's
Hmm.
hilarious.
Yeah.
It's best. I love her. I love that Clarice is like I think after they leave camp, I love everything they do with Clarice, which is
Yes.
hilarious because she's
Yes.
the best part of this movie from here on
Which
out.
is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. They end up escaping by shooting a hole through its stomach,
Yep.
and they get, they escape the monster and they end up going through and they get the coordinates. I do like that they have that moment of Percy seeing the coordinates. I like
Yeah,
that they
that's
kept
cool.
that. That was really cool.
It was a
And
good
so
way to
they
visualize it.
Yes. And then they like skip everything else that happens when they're sailing, which I get for the sake of time, but we don't get those, we don't get the sirens, we don't get the bubble moment. But also at this point, I don't want that bubble moment because I don't care about Percy and Annabeth together.
Hmm.
Then they have,
Clarice and Percy have more chemistry.
right? Right? Um,
And then like so they end up on the island and they said this like blink and you'll miss it thing about
yeah,
Cersei Land being on
Cersei Land.
Polymouthes. And
Yeah.
it's stupid and silly, but I do kind of like the setting because it makes for like some fun things. Like they get on this ride and start singing It's a Small World and it's hilarious.
I think it's at first I was like, oh, they're getting rid of the whole Cersei thing, but then in my head I was like, that's good time-wise. They needed to cut stuff out, and I think it is a smart choice. But we do miss a lot of the sheep aspects of the Cyclops, and I wish they had included the some of the sheep and like the piranha sheep, like some of that. I wish they didn't get to the Cyclops that fast. Like
I also
it
think
was
it's
really speedy. I mean, I know they did it for what they wanted to do at the end, which is what stupid, but
well,
like
that's a
I
whole
know,
other problem.
I know, we're almost there.
We're just gonna call
Polyphemus,
him Poe.
Polyphemus.
Polyphemus. So the thing with Polyphemus also is they make a big deal about how he's had to eat all his sheep and he's hungry all the time. And I'm like, he has this giant source of nature magic.
Hmm.
People have been drawn to him for years.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Like they made him so lame, and it's like
Hmm.
it sucks because like he's the biggest, as Tyson says earlier in the movie, he's the closest
Hmm.
thing that Cyclops have to like
A celebrity.
a celebrity because he's like the only Cyclops anyone could anyone well, I don't want to say anyone. He's the
Hmm.
only Cyclops that people like could talk about in terms of specific stories.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
if you went to a random person and was like, "Hey, what's a Greek myth with a Cyclops?" They'd be like, "Oh, you the one with Odysseus."
Yeah, they would know. Yeah. Um, I agree. I think they missed a lot of that because it also puts more energy towards the why everyone wants the golden fleece. Like they haven't really explained why they want the golden fleece at all, like why people want it. Like they haven't,
Except
unless I
for
missed
the
it.
healing the tree.
Yeah, they just know it's
So
going to heal
like,
the tree, but they don't talk about like, oh, it has this magical power. Like they don't put a lot of like they don't, I guess, honor it as much as it should be. Like as far as like it's a legendary object that wars have been fought over. Like you know what I mean? And so I
yeah.
wish they put a little bit more emphasis on it because then it would make more sense why Luke wants it. It would make more sense why they want to go get it in general.
I disagree, but mostly because I feel like they explain why Luke wants it. He wants it to heal Kronos. But they do
Hmm.
say a stupid thing where they're like, I'm not going to use it to heal a tree. And I'm like, that was literally the second part of your plan.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what?
I like that Grover is not just, hiding as a woman, but as a woman Cyclops. I thought that was a
Yeah,
fun little extra twist on it.
they did that in the book too.
Did they? The Cyclops
Yeah.
part? Oh,
Yeah, he
I
was
missed that.
pretending to be a Cyclops.
Oh, I missed that part. But anyways,
How
the
could you? It's such
battle,
an important thing.
I just I just thought that he was pretending to be a woman and the Cyclops wanted a wife.
I was joking.
Oh.
It's not that
Anyways,
important.
I like that they work together to bring down the Cyclops, and I like how much Clarice is part of it. I do think it's
Mm-hmm.
silly that they're like, "Oh, there's the boulder that he trapped whoever." My brain's stopping. There's the
Odysseus.
bolt. Thank you. There's the boulder they trapped Odysseus in, and then they use it 2 minutes later. And I was like, guys.
Yeah, I mean, like I kind of zoned out during the fight. Like
Hmm. Yeah.
it was so boring. I do think it was funny for Carice to, after pointing out that boulder, would be like, "What? I know stuff too." I
Yeah.
thought that was
That
funny.
was fun.
Um, and then Luke shows up, tries to claim the fleece, and then tries to shoot Percy. Tyson jumps in front of it, and he's like,
Hmm.
"You do the same for me," and then falls into the water. And I'm like, "You guys really think that he's dead? Like, come on. You've seen this boy survive fire. You know that water heals Percy. Why would you think that he's dead?" And then Percy like just gives up. And I'm like, Percy has zero fight in him. And I get it. Logan
Hmm.
Lerman's being an angsty boy, angsty
Hmm.
sad boy vibes.
But that's not Percy.
It's not Percy.
Yeah.
Percy would literally be trying everything he could. And I never
Hmm.
called him brother. That's sad, but it's also like, dude,
Okay.
you've known him for like a week?
Yeah. Are you gonna try and stop the Titan from being reincarnated? Because you're just sitting there watching. It takes them so long to escape the ties. And I'm like, also, the cronies should know to take Riptide away from him. I don't know if that
Well,
would
and
really
all
work.
well, that's the thing is like Riptide always just appears back in his
Yeah,
pocket.
unless he surrenders it. So I guess that wouldn't work. Anyways, but like they should know not to use that when he's gonna have a sword in a second. You know? I was like, guys, you know
Yeah,
what his weapon is. You know
it's
it.
so stupid. And then they have this whole little bit where Annabeth is like, Percy, you're like the leader. You're the one that makes all these choices. And I'm like, he is? I mean, I
Mm,
guess, maybe.
I sure.
Sure, why not? And then Clarice does have a really funny line of, "There's no way you're getting me to repeat that," where she
Yeah.
says something nice about him.
Like
And
you're right
again,
or something like that.
Clarice is like, again, I say it again, she's the best part of this movie from the whirlpool on, which is a whole
Yes.
other problem.
Uh-huh.
And then Percy gets frees his friends, and then immediately starts slashing and like through all of these mooks and has no problem getting through them.
Yep.
And it's like, this is so stupid.
I do
Um,
like when Kronos is like mid lava monster getting put back together, that Luke goes up to him and he's like, "Ah, my favorite." And then you see Luke's face and he's like, "I finally someone's favorite." For a second, then he gets eaten. I thought within this mess that should not exist, I liked that part.
I think it is a good moment if you ignore literally everything about who Kronos is.
Yes.
Um, I also think it's very funny that like Luke tries to like strangle Percy and is like, I know you can breathe underwater, but can you breathe through this? And I'm like, what? You lightly having your arm around his throat? This looks so fake. And then Tyson comes in and saves him. And it's
hmm
so stupid, guys, because they're hugging and having like this like brother talk. And then meanwhile, Kronos is in the
Chrono
background.
says
So I'm
exactly. I'm like, this could be later, guys.
I'm literally sitting there and I'm like, please stop Kronos, stop Kronos, stop
Stop,
Kronos.
Kronos.
Okay, I guess you're not gonna do that. You're instead gonna hug and have this brother talk. And then they say that Riptide is cursed.
It's
It's
the
the
cursed
cursed blade.
blade, the cursed blade, because it's cursed by Kronos. Because in that flashback with the stained glass, they purposely show Poseidon with the sword. So it's like the blade is cursed by Kronos because it partially killed Kronos, not like a literal curse, like, oh, I hate that sword. That's how I took it.
I didn't get that, but hey,
No,
whatever.
I was like, because I was confused. I was like, what cursed blade? And then it got all magical. I was like, oh, it's because it once killed Kronos or was a part of killing Kronos. So now it has that power. Again, it doesn't make sense. I'm not saying it's a good choice, but that is what they're trying to say.
And it's
But,
also so silly. So they really tried to like shoehorn in this prophecy. Oh,
uh-huh,
and I forgot that was part of Annabeth's rousing speech earlier,
yeah.
when she talked about like, who cares about prophecy? Who cares about all this? And then in the middle of this fight, they're still like diving
Mm-hmm.
deep into like trying to like go with this prophecy. It's
Mm-hmm.
also so stupid that they have Poseidon be the one to kill Kronos, because
Yep.
again, Zeus is the one that cast his father down, which is why he's king of the gods. And which is why he's also super paranoid about one of his children overthrowing him. This
Yep.
is a thing. Whatever.
They have
And
Percy running up the lava saying, I make my own destiny. And I'm like, you're literally following the prophecy that was given to you 2 days ago.
yeah.
That's not destiny, but or your own destiny at least,
And
dude.
then the freaking Manticore stabs Annabeth. Luke, oh, sorry, actually, Luke falls into Polymetheus's like pit.
Yeah.
And that's how his story ends here. And it's like, I know that he's gonna escape it anyway if he made a third
Yeah.
movie, so it's stupid.
Whatever. hmm
And
It's very
90% of
Team Rocket
Annabeth's
is
life.
getting blasted out again, you know?
Oh my God, yeah. And it's like you can't take Luke seriously. He never
hmm
wins.
hmm
Whatever. And then Annabeth, who barely participates in the fight at all, gets stabbed by the
hmm
Manticore after the fight is over. And it's like, damn, she couldn't even like pull a Tyson and save somebody. She just had to
Yep.
like go down
Also,
again.
where's her invisibility hat in this movie? Did she have it in the first one?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But where is
I
it?
act. Yeah, exactly. They give her no weapon. They give her nothing besides like, again, 90% of her lines in these fight scenes are Percy.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Um, And she's like, I'm gonna see Talia again. And I'm like, ma'am, be so for real. We have a
Yikes.
magical healing item right here. Like,
Yeah.
calm down.
Yeah. And they bring her back, and then Percy makes this big deal about Clarice being the one that takes the fleece back, and it cuts right to camp of her doing that, which is like, that's fine. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
whatever. They put the fleece on Talia, and Talia comes back to life in her emo self, and then the movie ends.
yeah. Um, and do I have any other notes? It's also so silly because they literally had a fake out death scene already. And
Uh-huh.
I I really like fake out death scenes.
Yes, me too. When they're done
I
right.
When they're done right, I find they're fun. I like the angst. I like that. But the
Mm-hmm.
problem is, if you do it two times in a row, when I know the solution to both of them, like, yeah, Tyson's going to be fine. He's going to fall into water. This boy literally survived fire, and you expect me to believe that an arrow to the chest is going to kill him?
Mm-hmm.
Be so real.
Yeah.
You have a magical healing blanket right here, and you want me to pretend that I'm worried about her, and you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
drag out this whole scene for like a solid 2 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Stupid. Annabeth can't act. Clarice would never cry openly like this.
Mm-hmm.
her doing the like ceremonial draping it over doesn't have a lot of meaning anymore
No.
because they took out the fact that it's how Luke loses. I think it's nice though, and I don't know what this note says. They kind of tried to have it both ways with this prophecy of
Hmm.
like, yes, we maybe fulfilled it, but maybe we didn't.
Ooh.
And it's like,
No, it's not. It's not it. It's not it, fam.
and they kind of shot themselves in the foot because like
Hmm.
they had Chronos show up. What were they
Hmm.
gonna do next?
Yeah. What were they going to do for the third movie that they weren't actively creating as far as like scripts and writing and trying to get produced? What were they going to do?
Also, why would Luke continue to fight for somebody who literally ate him the second he resurrected him?
Yeah.
Like, Kronos is not some big, like, evil monster demon thing. He's a lying manipulator who also eats
Hmm.
children. You can
Hmm.
have both of those things.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's,
Before we dive into more thoughts, do you want to hear the fun facts I have gathered?
yes, please.
Um, Spoilers, they're not that fun. Because there's
Oh
not many
no.
facts about this movie. Uh, it was filmed almost purely in Vancouver, with exception to Cersei Land that was filmed in an abandoned New Orleans Six Flags called Jazzland. That was abandoned post Hurricane Katrina. Um, it has different director, different writer, but it has from the first one, but it has the same executive producer, Karen Rosenfelf. Felf. So that's the only person that really carried on besides the main cast. Um, it had a budget of $90 million and the box office earnings was 200.9 million. So like it wasn't a flop, at least budgetarily. They were trying to create the third movie. And then right as Disney was buying the Fox, whatever, because this is produced by Fox, something or other, when Disney acquired them, that's when it got shut down. And that's when Logan Lerman was like, we're not going to make it, guys, because also we're too old to be teenagers in these movies. So sorry, guys. And then years later, obviously, we had the Disney Plus series. I watched the extras on the DVD. There was not many extras. There's no behind the scenes. There's no bloopers. There was no deleted scenes, which bummed me out. Um, but in the behind the scenes bit where they interview like the main character, all the kids essentially, they all talked about how they had so much fun and they would name all the other actors, but they would never name Annabeth's actor, and Annabeth's actor was never interviewed. So I have this theory that they didn't enjoy her. Like allegedly, this is all just based off me watching an interview. They could have just edited her out, whatever.
She could have just had
But
scheduling conflicts.
exactly, or like, but it was on. No, it's like while they're filming, like they're on set
Hmm.
interviews. Yeah,
Drama.
yeah. And then they had a whole thing about how they did the CGI and the prosthetics for Tyson's eye, which was fun. I was like, okay, but
I thought it was CGI
um,
the whole time, so that is pretty cool.
well, the eye is CGI, and they made it look just like his actual eyes, the actor's actual eyes. But he did wear a prosthetic the whole time that had a raised um, brow bone, so that way when he's wearing the sunglasses, it looks like it would be covering that eye. So like it was a
Gotcha.
mix, yeah. Um, but yeah, so those are the fun facts. Kind
Damn.
of mid fun,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, is this movie perfect? No. Is it bad? Yes. Did I enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yes. Like,
I know
you
I
know,
like I know I made a lot of silly complaints, but I just want to be clear that I actually really I enjoyed this movie significantly more. And if you like said, "Hey, would you rather watch the Lightning Thief movie again or would you rather watch Sea of Monsters?" I'm picking Sea of
I'm picking
Monsters.
Sea of Monsters. Me too.
Just maybe skip the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, like once they escape Polyphemus, then you can turn it off.
Or just skip to them like getting to the like skip to them going back to camp.
Yeah, yeah. But no,
Skip
I agree.
the
I had a
whole
good time.
Chronos thing.
Like the first half is purely enjoyable, and I think they did like the decisions they made. I understand based off what they had to deal with post the first movie and what they were
Hmm.
given. I understand almost all the changes they made. Not all of them. Towards the end, of course, we don't like the last half, but like I understand. Clarice was fantastic. Like
I think
I had a good time.
the only big misstep that they really do is I feel like is the Chronos thing.
Yes, that's the hugest misstep. I agree. Everything else
It
I could live with.
hmm
Yeah.
Even the like going through the prophecy and pretending like it was working.
Hmm.
I don't know how they would have worked that in without Chronos, but I think it was
Or
silly
like
to put it up.
Or if they had like Chronos partially getting put together, but then the battle stopped it from it becoming an actual being, and then there's some other resolution that made Luke not look like a loser necessarily. Like if there was something else there, you know what I mean? Like I would have been like, okay, but like a better okay.
I like the partially like getting
Yeah.
reformed and like that way he has to fight like a projection or something.
Yeah.
Like, because it should take time. It shouldn't take like three
Hmm.
hours.
Hmm.
Um, the other thing about it is there's just no setup for like there's just
The rest of
no
the series.
the rest. Yeah, like the fact that they were making a third movie while they made this one is
Well, they were
wild.
starting to write it. It
Sorry.
didn't, yeah, it wasn't like actively in production.
Was it greenlit though?
N Not quite, but like the producer was like, I want to do this, and she did the first two. So like it was enough that like it was known in the like the Percy Jackson like world at that time, but not
So
greenlit. Like there wasn't an announcement this is being made.
So it's kind of like I that's why they're trying to have it both ways of like here's a
Hmm.
resolution to this thing that we
In
introduced
case we
this
don't,
movie in
yeah,
case we don't get a third one, but
yeah,
also here's the setup for a third one because we end on the cliffhanger of Talia being brought back.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
It occurred
exactly.
to me for the first time that maybe I wasn't the child of the prophecy. Okay, whatever.
Yikes. So, Amanda, is it a good adaptation?
Hmm. Can I go with mediocre?
Sure, you can answer however you want.
I'm gonna go with mediocre because I think it does for making it into a movie. I think they did the best that they could within the confines of the 2013 movie making scenes.
And with what the first movie gave them.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, 100%.
I would agree. I think it's a fine adaptation. It's far from perfect, but it's not bad.
It's not, again, if you asked me, would would I rather
Like,
watch the first movie
mhm,
is an awful adaptation, regardless of how you
yes,
feel about it as a movie. It's
yeah,
an awful adaptation. This one is just it's fine. It makes
yeah.
pragmatic choices. The biggest failing it has is trying to like rush this ending.
I think a lot of people give the second movie a lot more crap than it deserves.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think people like but I think that kind of goes back to what you said about the first movie last year or
Hmm.
whenever we watched it, God knows.
Yeah.
Um, where it's a lot more about like people have really fond memories of the first movie. And if
Hmm.
you cut it out from all the context of the adaptation wise,
Hmm.
I think it probably could be objectively a better movie.
Yes.
And that's why people like think about it more fondly.
Yeah.
Obviously, not me, but
Awesome.
see 20-minute rant.
Rewind 20-minute rants ago. Well, thanks, Amanda, for watching this movie with me.
Thanks for having me.
I'm
So much fun.
Make sure you check out our Patreon to see what godly parents the quizzes decided that we have. Follow us on Instagram at Read the Book First Podcast. Make sure you rate us 5 stars. If it's not 5 stars, don't worry
Don't
about
worry
it.
about it.
Thank you for listening, and remember, read the book first.